Hey y'all, this is Halisi.
And this is Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On this channel, we talk about travel, money, and retiring abroad as we build generational wealth. So, what are we talking about today?
Today is a very special day. Today we reached 1,000 plus subscribers. Thanks to you, each and
Yay!
every one of you.
Yes, we love you. We did that in less than 4 months, and it's all because of you. And we are just so incredibly happy that you are supporting us. We're happy with the community that we are building with your help. And so we just want to celebrate. Hang out, let's chat, ask us anything almost.
Go grab your favorite beverage, have a glass of wine on us.
Yes, definitely. So if you are new to our channel, then you know, or you might not know, that Rick and I got a wake up call about 6 years ago when we looked at our finances and they look crazy. We were heading close to retirement and our savings account looked crazy and piddly. 3 years ago, we got our financial act together. We got our money straight. And in less than 3 years, we went from negative 22,000 to over 800,000 in net worth. And you can do the same thing. We want you to live the life of your dreams. And so Greta, thank you. We just want to share with you how we did it, how we did this YouTube thing, how you too can retire as soon as possible, live life on your terms, as our girl Adelia says, and retire in the United States, retire abroad, whatever it is that you want to do, right?
Wherever you want to go.
But we get one shot at this thing, folks. One shot. And tomorrow's not promised. And so it's time to start living, right? We thought we had to wait for another 10 years or so before we could start living life, before we could start having fun, before the stress would be relieved. But there's a better way. There's definitely a better way. So thank you, Greta. You're always there and we appreciate you. And I'm so sorry that we missed you in Cancun.
Hey, Don, how are you?
From Florida.
From Florida.
Yeah, let us know where you're logging in from. So we're in Mexico right now. And Greta asked, did you find your apartment yet in Portugal? Yes and no.
Well, let me say, Greta, I think we spent more time helping out a very, very close friend that we met. She's like family.
At this point.
We spent almost every day together in Portugal, and she was looking for an apartment. So we spent more time helping her to find her apartment than we did ours.
Yes. But the good thing about it, and she's looking to buy, right? And we're not looking to buy right off. But the good thing about that, and I was talking to my stepmother earlier, if you're out there, Phyllis, hey there. We got to see what the market looked like. We got to see what apartments that were turnkey look like, what apartments that are not so turnkey look like. Because some of these folks, let me tell you, you definitely have to do your homework. And yes, we heard some offers out there is like, really? Like one lady wanted $50,000 in earnest money.
$50,000 in earnest money.
Right? For a place that was about 200,000.
Yeah.
So, and our friend had not purchased a place in the States before, or it had been a long time and she couldn't remember what the norm was in the States. And I'm like, baby girl, if you're putting $5,000, that's a lot of earnest money and you get it back, right? Like if it doesn't meet inspection and this and that and the other. And Home Chick was like, yeah, no inspection. And I can't move out for several months and boop de boop de boop. And I was like, I don't think that's the place for you. But we saw some interesting apartments. We saw some beautiful apartments. And as far as our apartment goes, we have a couple of choices. Our plan A actually is the first Airbnb that we stayed in. The landlord, his mom and dad were so nice, so cool, so responsive.
Very gracious.
Right?
Very gracious.
The place was spick and span. The neighbors were cool. All the neighbors were cool. We were there almost a month, right? And we liked the neighborhood. And so she says, when you come back, you let me know in advance and I'll make sure that you get a good deal. And so We reached out to them to see if they're going to be willing to do a long-term rental for us, and so that's what we're hoping is going to happen. So yay!
Met the neighborhood cats, made friends. Well, she made friends with the neighborhood cats.
We came to an understanding because the way the apartment was situated, the outside terrace, there's windows, like you can close the windows or keep them open to get an airflow. And then beneath that, the flat downstairs had an expanded patio, right? So the roof, the cats would hang out on the roof, which means it's a short jump to our window. And so I think previous folks had like fed those cats, let them come in or whatever, because they thought that our apartment was their home. But by the time we left, I think they pretty much knew that, yeah, like I will give you water and stuff like that and make sure you're okay, but we ain't doing that. Our home. Our home.
Hey, Nubianette, how are you?
Yes, yes, yes. Don, hello from Florida. Is it as hot there as it is here in Mexico? Because I'm telling you, that heat and humidity.
Takes your breath away.
Yes. Hey, Nubianette, nice to see you. Yay, yay, yay. Still in Oakland. Still in Oakland chilling. Well, we're going to be in your neck of the woods in the beginning of August because we do have our appointment with VFS, or the Portuguese consulate, for those of you who are not following the whole Portugal thing.
Yeah.
Right? So there were some things that we didn't think about. We might as well get into that right now. So here we are in Mexico, and our agent makes the appointment for us for the beginning of August. And I'm like, cool, we'll just fly from there to Mexico, to San Francisco. And Rick says,
do we have to be in our home state in order to do the FBI background check? Reason being is we did an FBI background check in February. Was
yes.
it February?
Mm-hmm.
Because we were kind of panicked and we were trying to get it done so we can get an earlier appointment. Then we found out that we didn't have to rush it. We could take our time because they open up every month.
Right.
So we did, but it only lasts for 3 months.
Yeah.
It's only good for the consulate for 3 months, and then you have to redo it. But in order to get the visa process started, when you sit in front of that agent, you have to present that sealed envelope with your FBI check. I mean, you haven't committed any crimes, have you?
No, and nobody better be out there using my name either.
We haven't committed any crimes or anything like that. I almost caught a couple cases, but I'm good. I'm good. You know.
So what we found out, for anyone who wants to know, we're going to do, I called the FBI because I was panicked. I just called them and said, we in Mexico and we need it's called an identity history summary, not a criminal background check. And so I said, we need this. We're not in the States. And he's like, no problem. They were so nice. They were so nice.
FBI was cool.
Right. And I have to say that I appreciate that when we know everything that's going on in the States right now, that the bureaucrats, I hate to call them that, but, are still just providing great customer service. And we ran into that with the CBI, with the folks in Denver as well. Really cool. So what we have to do, we go online, we download, he said, even on regular piece of paper, just print out the form. The only hiccup is that we'll have to go to a police department or someone here who's used to doing fingerprints, and they will do our fingerprints. We'll FedEx them. He said we FedEx them straight there. And as soon as they get our fingerprints, they'll have our results in 3 to 5 days.
Folks, if you hear some outside noise, we got people still working around the apartments and everything to where we are. So it's a little noisy outside at times.
Yeah.
We apologize for that.
Did you ever consider Mexico? Don, we are in Mexico now.
We are in Mexico.
And next week, we go to exchange our permanent residency visas for our green cards. So yes. Mexico is going to be our second home. Portugal is going to be our first home. Mexico, our most of our peeps are in California. So Mexico is an easy hop to California.
Right.
We love Mexico. I've been studying Spanish for 2.5 years now. I used to say I could speak Spanish. I no longer say that. I no longer say that. But I was doing okay in the store, right?
You do excellent. I grunt. Hola.
So, I was asking her the meaning of some stuff and then miming what I thought because sometimes some of the products here in Mexico, they don't use traditional Spanish words. I think some of the products are trying to use words that may be used in Argentina and not so much in Mexico. And so when I was using Google, Translate for the kind of candy I wanted, it wasn't coming up properly.
Google is like, what?
Yeah.
What are you saying? We don't even get it.
Exactly. Hey, Luis. Hey there. Where are you chiming in from? It seems to me that I thought you were not in the States, and I'm trying to remember. Portugal is new at this, so they're asking for crazy money without knowing what they're doing.
You have to be very, very careful
Yeah.
when you're coming over here or when you choose to come over here and buy real estate or rent real estate. You have to be very mindful and careful because you can be taken advantage of.
Yeah. And they see Americans and they think, okay, if you qualify to be over here, then you're rich. And that's just not the case. Right. The D7 visa for Portugal is one of the easiest ones, has one of the lowest thresholds financially. And so I think all you need to be bringing in is their minimum wage per month. And then you have to have the equivalent of that, a year's worth in the bank. So, save a little, that's why there's so many young people in Portugal, young Americans in Portugal, because the threshold is so low. And I don't know if that they realize that because they do sometimes are asking for crazy money.
Yeah.
The other thing that we learned about Portugal, especially if you're thinking about purchasing, is the idea, if you guys are from back east, you know what we're talking about. The idea of a co-op or this little ant. I got to get it.
That's my boy.
No,
that's
I
Floyd.
can't take it.
That's Floyd.
This
He lives in my computer case now.
this Airbnb with the ants.
We're in the jungle.
Right. Angela, hey there. If you're there, they were upstairs, part of the Exodus Summit crew.
In the jungle.
Lord have mercy.
I can deal with ants. Just I don't see no snakes. We saw some beautiful iguanas today. Oh,
yes.
The prettiest iguanas, but
no snakes, no cucarachas. So, but they did see him upstairs. So, anyway, I really haven't seen any here. So, getting back to co-op, if you're going to purchase a flat, they don't do like HOAs and stuff like that the way we're used to it. So, you really have to understand who else has invested in that building with you, and if they're down with keeping it up, what monies are going towards keeping it up and all of that. So that's another thing that you have to think about if you are thinking about purchasing in Portugal as opposed to what we're used to in the States.
And yes, I do miss Portugal. We both miss Portugal since we've been there. Not that we don't love Mexico, but when you leave the shores of Portugal, it's like,
Yeah. So, Luis, I thought we're no longer in Almada, but the apartment that we are trying to get, and hopefully we'll be back this fall, if they say yes, is in Almada. Well, it's in Casillas. And so we like that neighborhood. We like being a little bit away from Lisbon, but a 10-minute ferry ride to the city proper. And like I said, we like the neighbors, the ladies at the corner market and the cafes and all of that stuff. And it felt like home.
It did.
Just looking at the pictures and everything.
Even when we went to Coimbra, that was interesting. That lady that you befriended, or she befriended you and was showing us how to get to where we needed to get.
Oh, yes. We'll do a video on that.
That was fantastic. That lady was so sweet.
It really was. So ayuda is help in Spanish. Ajuda, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, so please, but I can understand it, is help in Portuguese. And so it was hot, and those hills, and we were trying to find our way back. And this lady who looked to be in her 70s or something came up, and she's like, let me show you some really nice places. And we're walking and this and that. And what street do you live on? I'll help you get back to it, because it's like a maze when you're in the old part of Upper Coimbra. And she was just so sweet, just so sweet. Her son is in Dubai, so she wanted to practice her English, and I can't practice Portuguese because I don't know enough.
And Coimbra is beautiful.
It is
It
beautiful.
is truly beautiful. Everything is but everything, let me tell you something about Portugal. And I love Portugal, but the hills in Portugal,
Yes, the hills.
they ain't no joke. No joke. You'll get in good shape.
Yes, yes.
It'll kill you or it'll put you in great shape.
But what we were laughing at is how many elderly people we saw walking up those hills smoking cigarettes.
Like it was nothing.
And it's like, how are you guys doing this? How are you doing it? Thank you, Daphne. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love it. You're exactly what we needed at exactly the right time. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy.
I know that there's some craziness going on in the States, and we're trying not to ingest it. But every time I go on YouTube to watch my friends and all of that, they have breaking news, and I try to avoid it. So we do know some of the stuff that's going on there. Folks, this is not our fight. We did not create this mess. We, by meaning people of color, we, by Black people, we didn't. We just didn't. And if you don't want to live there, if the pressure, if the stress is too much, let us help you make a plan. Because, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Very hot. However, I should say I'm currently visiting Jamaica.
Jamaica.
So Rashida Dow of Sheeta's on the Loose. Hey, her mom, I met her mom yesterday, and she was green, yellow, and blacked out. She had the matching surf shoes, sheer cover up, bikini bathing suit, or maybe it was a whole piece with some cutouts. Sister girl had it going on, and her black hat said Jamaica across the top. She was representing. So I love it.
Husbands weren't invited, so I hung out.
No, they weren't. This was we had 60 Black women on that boat, cutting up. We were cutting up. So I'm sure if you follow Stephanie Perry, if you follow Sheeta, you've seen the pictures. As soon as we got on at 10 o'clock, what happens on the boat stays on the boat. I'm going to tell a little bit. 10 a.m.
Okay, that's enough.
They were offering rum punch, margaritas, and everything. Y'all know I don't drink. So I was like, agua con gas, porfa? But yes, and they just kept them coming. And so folks were having a good old time. I'm telling you. Okay, so Newbie Net, hoping to go to Portugal the beginning of November. Hopefully we will be there.
Hopefully
Our plan is to be back by October at the latest.
If not sooner.
We're
working on sooner.
Yeah, and so it all depends on how long it takes the consulate in Portugal to approve it, get our visas back to us. But yes, the plan is to be there, so we'll have to connect. You'll have to DM us. I will have Mexico and Panama as my home. I love it. So Don, if you can, a little bit about what the process is for Panama, because I don't think we checked Panama out.
I have been asked about Panama.
Have you?
Yes, I've been asked by a few people about Panama, considering moving to Panama, making that their home, and asked me about it. And we've never been there,
No.
But we will visit and check it out.
Yeah, definitely. As a matter of fact, depending upon how long this visa process takes and how long it takes us to clear out the rest of our crap. Yes, we have a lot of crap. a lot of crap. Folks,
It's for sale.
start getting rid of your crap. I'm telling you, Americans just have too much stuff.
Fire sale.
And we were just king of the stuff. Collections, collections, collections.
2 nice cars.
So Don, I hope that you follow the Yarbros because they were in Panama for a while and did several videos on Panama, which I found very interesting. So getting residency in both. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Have choices.
Have choices.
Have choices.
And see, I have to say, we did not think about having residency in 2 different places. I'm like, that's a thing? Like retiring early. That's a thing? You can do that? You can actually retire early? Yeah, you can. You can. There's a whole movement, and we were oblivious.
And we have people asking us about why 2 places, and it's because we want choices. If we want to be in a certain place over towards Europe or in Europe or whatever, we got Portugal, which we love. That where we want to make our home. But if we want to be closer to family, Mexico's the spot.
Once we get citizenship in Portugal or I don't know, the first year I know you have to be there a certain amount of time, but Twana told us that once you're in year 3, it loosens up. And so maybe we spend December, February, and March, or November, December, January in Mexico, when it's cool here and cold in Portugal. It's not warm in the Lisbon area or north in Portugal. And when I say not warm, because it's hot here.
It's not hot.
It's not hot. And so I found myself wearing layers and having a t-shirt and then having a long sleeve t-shirt and then a jacket, not a coat, just a jacket. And then by the afternoon, I'm like, take it off. And then evening, I'm putting it back on. So that's Portugal. And I actually like that kind of weather.
I do too. I slept like a baby in Portugal all the time.
Not here.
Every day. Not here, no.
Not here. And I think it's because you have to have the AC on all of the time, and it just gets too cold. And then, yeah. So we'll see how it is in the next place that we're staying, but I toss and turn all night. So if you see Kroger grocery bags under my eyes, that's why. And so
lady.
Right. So the other thing about Portugal that really makes the visa and the whole process worth it is it's 5 years to citizenship. And you just have to know Portuguese at an A1 level. So anybody who's studying a foreign language knows A1 is the basics, like, hi, my name is Halisi. I'm from Estados Unidos. I'm so-and-so years old. You can talk about yourself.
And there's an app for that.
Yeah, there's an app for that. And the government also offers intensive
classes.
Language classes. Yeah. So I love it. Hey, Mike, we haven't seen you live in a little bit. Thank you.
How you doing, Mike? Thank you so much.
And I see Mike over with the Yarbro, so I know he knows. And I got 2 more patches. So shout out, I'm saying to April and Rondell. I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna have 3 patches on my jacket before y'all have sewn on 1. The challenge is on.
Y'all gonna have a sewing competition.
That's right.
Sewing patches.
Kenya, thank you. Congratulations. You guys hope to do a scouting trip visit in the spring. Kenya, is that Mexico or Portugal? And if so, if it's Mexico, we probably won't be here. But if it's Portugal, definitely we want to meet up. And the other thing for anyone who is thinking about Portugal is Black in Portugal. The Facebook group Black in Portugal. My stepmother said it succinctly. She said, moving to a foreign country, especially when you don't know the language very, very well, can be isolating. And so having a community of folks who are in the same boat really does make a soft landing. And you kind of have an instant family because you're all in the same boat. You're all fish out of the water, right? And so the folks that we met through Black in Portugal.
Oh, they were fantastic.
Cool peeps.
Fantastic.
I mean, so willing to help with just pouring out information. So, Black in Portugal, shout out to the young ladies who are making that happen and making sure that they keep it alive because,
It's important. It truly,
yeah,
truly is important. And we got to meet one of our favorite YouTuber team there
yes,
at the picnic,
yes,
the Juneteenth. I'm going to give it a date. Juneteenth picnic. Our Rich Journey,
yes,
Christine and Amon. Oh my God! Before we had went to the other functions to talk to them that they were putting on, they
yeah,
were at the picnic supporting, and it was great. It was like,
yes.
oh my God, this is great.
He was starstruck.
I was. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I mean, they do have a lot of followers, but down to earth,
Just so down there,
down
so
to
so
earth,
beautiful.
good peeps. Their two daughters are just simply delightful,
Oh my God,
sweethearts.
yes.
And, we're putting out a little bit of some pictures from their meetups, just so you guys can see. And yeah, a great time. A
And we
great
still
time.
have other videos that we're putting out for Portugal. Even though we're not there, we still have footage that we're putting together and we'll be
Yes.
releasing videos. For me, it takes me a little bit more time than it takes her.
And we've
But
got some interviews coming up also with some
yes,
folks who have
yes.
been living in Portugal for a while. So look forward to those. Thank you, Angie. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Yay.
This is great. I love it.
So
Wow.
my ex has a co-op in Queens. That's a headache. Too much community involvement. Their family-owned property is also a challenge. I'll definitely have a lawyer, right? And so one of the things, actually, Tawana said this, but I first saw it on Our Rich Journey. They initially hired a personal assistant, a Portuguese personal assistant who spoke English well, to translate all of the documents and read over all of the documents for them. That's just brilliant, right?
Smart move.
And then once you do that, then have the attorney look at them. That way, they're not charging you their high price just to do translation and things like that. But you're absolutely right, Nubinette. Some of the stories that we heard. So one of the things is if you want to do an Airbnb now, I think in the city of Lisbon, even if it's outside of the city center, you have to get everyone in the building to say yes. If one person says no,
You can't do it.
you cannot do it. So things like that. Who is going to keep the outside of the building clean? Is everybody going to pitch in? And so you saw, we showed you some of the graffiti and everything like that. And unfortunately, it is residential buildings as well
Yes.
in some places. And so some of the building occupants have said, nah, we ain't dealing with that. And they get it taken care of right away and keep it from coming back. But some don't. And so that's something you have to think about if that bothers you or what, right? If you don't want it, if you don't want it anywhere around, you're going to pay a premium.
Yes. You
You're going to pay a
definitely.
premium, right? Venus, hey, glad you could join us. We did not know who would join us with this last minute
No,
thing.
we
We
didn't.
hit 1,000. Then I panicked about the FBI background check or what is it called? Identity
Identity,
history
history.
summary. And because we were going to go live about 4 hours ago. So how was your meeting up with Arbiter? We talked about that a little bit. They had 3 meetups. So we first met them at the Juneteenth, and then they had 4 meetups. We went to 3 out of the 4, and class act,
Oh my God, yes.
class act.
Anything and everything that you had questions on. I mean, just one on one. They were so personable and so everyday type people. You could
Humble,
humble
gracious,
approach them, and
transparent.
they were just great.
Yeah.
It was just fantastic.
And Aman was, someone asked him a question. I can't even remember the question. I just remember his response. And he started talking about his mom and he started
And you
tearing
start
up,
crying, yeah.
tearing up in front of all of us. And so I started tearing up, and all the other women, none of the men started tearing up, but I started tearing up. The woman next to me started tearing up. And it's just like, okay, just the transparency, and they gave us a shout out. They're like, oh, Halisi and Rick, don't you have a YouTube channel? Tell us the name of it.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Met a lot of people there at their functions too. It was in good people,
Yes.
like-minded people that want, to move abroad, people that want to, hit their fire numbers and save and do different things like that.
Yes.
Everybody wasn't in it for the same thing, but a majority of people were.
Yeah.
So,
well, everyone was there to do FIRE. And so for those of you who do not know what FIRE is, it's an acronym for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And so for Rick and I guess we retired early because we didn't think we could ever retire.
no.
And so even though we're pretty much retirement age, I'm not quite there to collect Social Security yet, but we ain't spring chickens. But if you don't think that you can ever retire, if you look at your bank account, don't think you could ever retire, then hey, any retirement is retiring early, right?
You could do what you want to do. All you need is the motivation to do it.
Yes.
It's a big world out there, and there's
my
a
gosh.
lot to be seen, a lot to do. So, don't count yourself out, please.
I whipped together a quick video on food shopping in Portugal. And I know some of you have seen that, but I wanted to do that. And I'm going to tell you, the prices that I listed were the prices that were online. Most of the time, if you guys could see the prices in person, they were cheaper. They were about anywhere from 10 to 30% cheaper than the prices that I listed. So, I mean, we pay a premium for real butter, but you don't in Portugal. Like real food, peanut butter without all that sugar and everything else. We pay a premium. Greta, I looked for your grape jelly, baby girl. I looked for your grape jelly. You were on my mind.
She did.
Right? I was like, okay, Yuva. They kept pulling up raisins and prunes and stuff like that. I don't think they have it. But grapes are so plentiful there.
Yeah.
They are so plentiful. I'm really surprised that they don't have grape jelly. So thank you, Venus.
I think a lot of it is just all we need is confetti and stuff to fly down.
Really?
I think they do probably have the grape jelly, but it's going to be natural, not like Welch's or anything like that.
Yeah. So if you're talking about grape preserves,
right,
they might have it. Most of the jams that I saw did not have sugar. They had fruit juice and stuff like that. So please, if you go to San Miguel, check out YouTuber. I know I love Michelle. As a matter of fact, I had contacted her about doing an interview, and she was busy getting ready. I think she just opened up like a retreat house or something in May. And so I had contacted her before that. I got to follow back up. I've got to follow back up because she's great. Hey, Tanika. Hello there. Thank you for joining us. Portugal and Panama are at the top of my list. So, that's kind of like Portugal and Mexico. Very, very different. Would love to hear why. Why those two? Requirement for pensionada visa is 1,000 monthly income. Oh, that must be for Panama. Well, heck.
Yeah.
I get it.
Most of the world's affordable, people.
Yeah.
Really,
I mean, you really could, if you lived in a major city, for what you just paid for rent or maybe even your mortgage, depending if you bought your house in the last 10 years or so, you could probably live off of that in another country. We would have when we were in Coimbra, we just went to a little cafe in the heart of the tourist area, and we had a hamburger. You had a hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
I had what they call it's basically a grilled sandwich. It was like an adult grilled cheese sandwich. And his hamburger was $3, €3.40. My sandwich was €3. The beer, the big thing of beer was like €2. And then my water, €1.50. Where can you buy a mug of beer, of decent beer, for $2? Because you know, euro to dollar right now, actually the dollar is stronger. $2, people.
Yeah.
$2. So, hey, Kim from Chicagoland. Our daughter is there in the outskirts of Chicago. Yeah,
And our hearts go out to all the people from the
yeah,
craziness, the shootings, and oh
yeah,
my God.
yeah. I don't know. It's too much. It's too much. The other thing that I learned from Tuana, um, it seems like I kind of knew this, but she just put it into perspective. And so she had some hearing loss from birth. And her doctor said, you need to get hearing aids because if you do not, your brain is working so hard to understand everything that is being said, it will cause dementia. Okay, so now, if your brain is working hard to try to make sense of the
All
craziness
the craziness
that is
going on.
going on in the United States, what is that doing to us? There's so much, and it's constant. Every single day there's some nonsense. Every single day you're crying over this baby, you're crying over this black man or this black woman, or anybody's baby, anybody's son or daughter, right? It's just oof. I don't want to die tomorrow of stress, of this stuff stressing me the out. And I don't want to get old and get dementia because I'm stressed out. It's something else. I spent 2 months on Panama City and Boquete. I'm not sure where Boquete is. So that must be a city in Panama. And I would love to know your opinion. Thank you, Kimberly. I would love to know your opinion. I'm just, yeah, I figured that out, Dawn. I think because Panama takes the dollar, that's one thing. That makes it easier for some folks.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I definitely want to visit. We want a vacation there, but it's never been on my list. Good morning, everyone. Antonio, where are you? Where it's more? Oh, good evening. Look at me. I'm like, where are you coming in from? Yeah, these have a lot of
You need
medicine. These have a lot of
And you
medicine.
need more medicine.
Lisbon is similar to Oakland, but a bit warmer. Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. Works for me. November is still nice, but a jacket in the morning and evening is needed. The weather, yeah. My bestie, who's no longer with me, went to Berkeley, and I got to visit her a lot, all different times of year. And so, yeah, I like the weather on that side of the bay. San Francisco, it would always be chilly. So, no, Tanika, we are not in Portugal right now. We are in Mexico. So, we're getting dual residency, and we are here in Mexico to finish that process. And then we're off to San Francisco to do the next step with Portugal. Portugal's a little bit more complicated, they have more requirements. But yeah, so beginning of August, we'll be sitting in front of the consulate, handing over our information and telling them that
Please let us back. Please
let us back in. So the one thing, when we love Mexico, and we're in a tourist area right now. We won't be next week.
No.
But the one thing that struck me about Portugal and the difference between Portugal and at least here where we are in Mexico is that no one assumed we spoke English in Portugal.
No.
So we didn't stand out. Here, I'm hard pressed to practice my Spanish. And they look at us and they say hi. Sometimes they say hola, but they assume that we cannot speak Spanish. They assume that we are foreigners. And that's just not the case in Portugal. It felt different.
Yeah, it did.
So Portugal all the way, yay! So we've got some talking. Sorry, I miss you guys in Portugal. Oh, you're going to be there. Oh, Mike, I didn't know that. So are you thinking about getting residency, or are you just going for a vacation. Oh, scouting.
Oh,
Okay.
you'll be there on my birthday, 25th of
Yes.
September.
Yes, yes,
Well, hopefully
yes.
we'll be back then by then, but maybe doubtful. But
They're backed
hopefully when
up.
you get there and we get there and
Yeah.
permanently we'll run across each other.
Yeah. So the 19th through the 25th, I would say don't try to do too much. Um, Pick a city and just check out that city because we were there for a month and we didn't scratch the surface.
No.
We were back and forth from the South, Lisbon South Bay, which is Almada, and then Lisbon proper, and then up a little bit north to, up going towards the airport and Parque das Noas.
And that's just the
I know I
Lisbon
messed that up,
area.
right? And then south to Cascais and all the little places in between. And we did not scratch the surface.
Oh no.
The Lisbon proper area and all of those neighborhoods we walked around. So we've got some more footage to show you and some more things to put out about the neighborhoods that were our favorites. But there was so much more to see. And so there was another young lady who said that she could only go there for a week and she was trying to check out the Algarve, Lisbon,
Yeah.
Coimbra, and Porto in a week.
Yeah, you couldn't sleep. You'd have to keep on going, keep on going.
Because a travel day will knock you out.
Yeah.
And yes, it's a small country, but the airfare from Lisbon to Porto is stupid. It was like $300 one way a piece. Now, we were trying to do it kind of last minute, but still.
Yeah.
The train ride is ours. So I would say pick a city and see what you guys can do just in that city. So thank you, Tanika. We really appreciate it. I watched Our Rich Journeys Healthcare in Portugal. Yep. 7 things that will surprise you. Excellent video. I love the healthcare options in Portugal, right? And so my mom, bless her heart, said, are you just going to abandon your family and go to Europe? I said, I am not trying to die in poverty.
We ain't abandoning nobody. You're always welcome to come.
Come on. But we are not going to die in poverty dealing with the American healthcare system. I am dealing with it right now with my dad. Folks, let me tell you, if you ever need long-term health care, you're screwed. You're screwed. They will take, depending upon what state you're in, they will take everything. Once your spouse goes, then the house will go to the state, depending upon what state you're in. It's crazy. And, it's such an oxymoron because the United States always says, right, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, which makes no sense. But at least, be responsible, take care of yourself, plan for the future, save for a rainy day. And then you do that. And if you need long-term care, $500,000 can be wiped out in 4 years, 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't about that life. I am not about that life, right? Hola at Antonio. Oh, nice to see you. Oh gosh, where am I? I'm going to try to find where we are in the comments. Nubian and Antonio are talking to each other. Portuguese National Health Service. Let's see what he's saying. Portuguese or Universal National Health Service was created in 79, right after the Carnation. So April 25th, guys, is a big day in Portugal.
Yes.
And the bridge is named after that.
There's a couple things named after.
Right. The main drag in Almada, where we were, is named April 25th or Avril. I'm not going to try, but April 25th and a lot of other things as well. And so that is definitely a day that they celebrate. And I know some of the Portuguese complain about their system and say it's stressed out and things like that. Y'all just don't know. Y'all just don't know how bad it can be. If you think that we can get into the doctor like this, we can't. I remember when Rick got sick and they were like, well, let's see, we can see you in about 3 weeks. I said, he will be dead by then. What? And still. So, yeah. It can be bad. I live near Sintra and a native. Sintra is
It
beautiful.
is so beautiful.
We got lost trying to get there. The only English speaking person in Cais de Sodre ferry station, the only English speaking person told us the wrong thing. Had I listened to the person who spoke Portuguese who was telling me what to do and I didn't trust that I understood him, we would have been there in 30, 40 minutes. It took us 3 hours.
Yeah, we were just lost. But we found our way.
We found our way and we made it, and then we
And
couldn't get service, couldn't get our e-tickets.
Yeah, it was beautiful. The castles, everything.
Yes.
Central is a beautiful place. I would have liked to see more outside of the touristy parts of it because I think it's even more beautiful in the neighborhoods and stuff like that. But like we said, we'll be back.
We'll be back, so we didn't stress it too much. Okay, it looks like Antonio's given some good information here, and we might need to share this. So my building is being painted right now, and for that, we had to raise our monthly fee for some time. So Antonio, how does it work? So in America, we have like a homeowners association fee. Back east, it's kind of called a co-op, where everyone puts money into the pot, and then there's like a committee that is voted upon by the members, and they are in charge, being what we say fiduciary, financially responsible, legally responsible for making sure that that money is spent the correct way. Is it that formal in Portugal, or is it less formal? Is it kind of like, all right, we need a new roof, y'all. We need a new roof. Everybody pitch in, or what? I would be very interested because I've heard different stories from different owners. Is our internet everything Portugal professor? I'm very appreciative. Okay, they're talking to each other. Here we go. Hey, Karen Louise.
Karen Louise, how you doing?
You look so well rested and happy. Honey, it's a facade. I got when Rick noticed that I had forgotten about the FBI background check for Portugal, and flights were made, and this is that and the other. This morning was just like, it was so bad that I was like, okay, now I need chocolate. Once we had it figured out, I was like, I need chocolate and I need it now. Am I lying?
No.
So we hoofed it down to the local tienda. I got M&Ms. I got cookies. I think that's it. But yeah, Portugal and Mexico have been good for you too. It has. And I think the main thing is not having to hear our country it needs a spanking. It needs a timeout. Right? Go to the corner. You need a timeout. I don't know. It's like a love-hate relationship. The U.S. has made us what we are, for good or for bad, right? And so the good part of that is that we have tenacity, that we're bold, that we're creative, right? That we can think outside of the box, some of us, right? And we don't need to say what the bad is. That's obvious, right? We work ourselves to death. Yeah. We work ourselves to death. And I'm not about that life. We were talking to some other folks who we'll be interviewing who are making Mexico their home. And when they were in Canada, they were talking about how they would show up at the park. Now, they were on vacation, right? And this is just a regular Thursday, not holiday, not even August or one of those, and they'd show up at the park at like 2:30, 3 o'clock, and it was filled with people, working age people, chilling, enjoying each other. Some had pulled out a picnic, and she's like, what's going on? Is it a holiday? No, it's called work-life balance. And it just seems like we don't do that. We just don't do that anymore.
Work is more important than life.
Right? And so I'm not sure I'm so far behind. I'm not sure what part you're responding to, NG, but yes, definitely. Phyllis Bush, that's a new name. And I would recognize Phyllis because my stepmother's name is Phyllis and I had been spelling it wrong sometimes. She's like, Halisi, now, I've been in your life since you're 12 years old. Hello, you guys are doing what we are thinking of doing, getting dual residency. And is Portugal getting overcrowded? Oh, no.
No.
Put down those American newspapers. They do not want our tax dollars leaving their shores.
Portugal has plenty of room.
It has plenty of room. Um, you know, if you are thinking about renting a furnished place, they're not as affordable as they were, as you may have heard from some of, YouTubers from a year ago or something like that. But the unfurnished apartments are still very, very affordable. We saw some very nice apartments with the square meters that we need, for $700, $800, $900.
And the most important thing is, remember, everything is negotiable.
Everything's negotiable. That's right. And if you all didn't see the interview that we did with Naki does the African Lisbon tour, and he's also a realtor. And so he was talking near the end, maybe the last third, because it's 2.5 hours, y'all, when we get to talking. He starts talking about prices in different areas of Lisbon and the kind of prices you can expect here and there. This is what he does for a living. So yeah, it's not getting overcrowded. Everyone was still welcoming for the most part. I mean, I got some attitudes from some older people who are just probably having a bad day.
And then, you have to also think that you don't have to live in Lisbon.
No.
Lisbon proper is, some people choose, like our Rich Journey. They live on the Silver Coast. So there's room, there's different cities and towns and stuff like that you can move to that are just as beautiful. And it's not that far away from Lisbon. You can live outside of Lisbon and catch a metro or whatever right into city center. I mean, we stayed across the river in Amada, and that was fine. We didn't have to be inside Lisbon.
Probably.
We just caught the ferry across, 10-minute ride on the ferry.
Literally.
And then you just get on the metro, you get on the trams, you get on the tuk-tuks that, I wouldn't get into taxis. They're probably a little costly. But, the tuk-tuks, or you get with some little scooter things.
Lord.
Those are cool.
So the electronic scooters that they have in all the cities, right?
They were tight.
So I think Uber has some, Bolt has some, and then there's others in the States.
You can ride them up a hill.
On cobblestone.
Yeah, that's kind of...
On cobblestone. I'm 57 years old, y'all, and I'm riding the scooter and didn't fall or anything like that, but literally being jarred. That's why I don't jog. Too much shaking.
Shake it up.
But on the paved streets, definitely. Those kids were riding those things everywhere. I could do a scooter, but those little electronic, not trying to do that. So yeah, Phyllis, do not get discouraged. It's not getting overcrowded. I mean, Europe is crowded in and of itself because it's very dense. So if you don't like density, then I would say go to the countryside. But for that initial time, if you don't speak Portuguese, for the initial, when you first get there, I would suggest Lisbon metro area, Porto metro area, or something like that, because you don't want to have to travel in to get your CEF appointment. And then all of the other things that you have to do to make sure that your residency is, legal and that you've checked all the boxes. Those offices, for the most part, are in the Lisbon metro area, probably Porto metro area like that. And so just for convenience sake, you might want to land in one of the major cities, and then 6 months later or so, once you've got everything straight, go ahead and move. I think we do. And well, we don't, thank God, but we have, Tracy, if you're watching, we have one of our friends who said, yeah, her doctor said she has PTSD. It's just too much. It is just too much. Oh, good, Mike. That is good. And would love to know the places that you guys are thinking about checking out in Lisbon. If you did not see the Naki one, then definitely look at that. And
Mhm.
then Black expats of Portugal, they also talk about neighborhoods and the neighborhoods that they were looking in. Liz had just signed a lease, and of course, Tawana's still looking to buy. And so she was talking about all of the different areas that she was looking to buy. So those videos will be very helpful for you. We miss it. We do. We do. And it's no joke,
It
y'all.
is, yeah.
It is no joke. I was looking at the videos and stuff, and I was like, I can see our neighborhood, right, and
Yeah.
our little cafe, and I miss it. I do, and it's
And our
funny,
bank.
right? Yeah, our bank,
Our
our
bank.
banker. It did not take long. It really didn't. Anyone wanting to move to Portugal, visit once in summer and another in the winter, so you see both ways. That was the plan, but COVID,
Yeah.
right? And then these elections, Antonio, we we're from Denver. So we're from snow country. If it doesn't snow, we're good. Anybody from east of the Mississippi and north of the Mason-Dixon line, you're good. If you're from California, if you're from Arizona or Texas, you might want to follow Antonio's. If you know that the cold, because the way they construct houses outside of the states, even here in Mexico, central heating is not necessarily the norm.
No.
Us, much less central air. So absolutely. And then Antonio and Nubinet talking to each other. If everyone is in agreement, my building is not so far. I'm a renter here. Uh, the HOA. Yeah. And that's another thing. There's condos in the States where the HOA is too low and they can't take care of the place. And then everybody's investment goes down the toilet. The healthcare. And as soon as, so we have to have private health insurance. And we can get that easily enough, but I got to put that on my list as something else that I forgot about. But yeah, as soon as we get residency, we do have access to the public system, though we will maintain private because one reason is I don't want to add to the stress of the system. And
No.
if we can afford to pay private insurance, then why not? And save the public system for those folks who may not have it like we have it. So that's the plan. And even though I know that they sometimes, depending upon what's wrong with you, they work in conjunction, but still. Wow, surprised to see you guys on. I thought you were only on Sundays from the Bay Area. Hey, Johnny. Usually we are only
Yeah.
on Sundays.
Yeah, true.
But we're celebrating 1,000 subscribers. Y'all, we did it. Y'all did it. Oh,
Yes.
so it's an arbitrary goal. You got anybody who does YouTube knows that to get monetized, you have to have folks watch your videos for over 4,000 hours. And get this, the lives do not count towards that. And so we hit over 4,000 watch hours more quickly. And then we hit 1,000 subscribers because a lot of you guys who watch are not subscribed. So hit that like, hit that subscription if you want to support this channel. If you like the content, please subscribe. Hit that notification
Hit that
bell.
bell too. Yeah, definitely.
But and we will be on live this Sunday at 1:30. It'll be a surprise what we're talking about. I went through that with my late father, right? So the healthcare system again. He had to give up everything. He could only receive $50 a month. $50 a month. That's supposed to buy your toiletries and everything else. Oh, you don't smoke. Don't smoke because I think cigarettes in California, what are they talking about? Like something like $10 per pack?
Something ridiculous.
The bridge was originally named Point de Salazar, but probably Shalazar. Shalazar. I'm sorry, Antonio. We're going to learn. I am committed to 5 languages before I leave this earth, and
I got the
Portuguese,
app.
and Portuguese is on there. But as that was the dictator's name, it was changed to Puente 25 de Abril. I'm very sorry for bastardizing their language and just tearing it apart, but we are trying. We are trying. And the thing about it is, after taking Spanish, Spanish is so easy to read. And so I've got to put my French brain back on, and some of those dropped consonants and stuff and dropped vowels. Hi, thank you for sharing. My wife, Kayla, and I are visiting in September to scout Portugal. Caribbean E and his wife were in Portugal as well. Cool, great place for retired veterans. Seems to be less stress. Okay, Sam, you bring up something that we have noticed, because when we told our family, peace out, we're moving to Portugal, what did our kids say? Some of them,
Oh, you can't do that.
why would you want to
Why
leave the
would you want to leave the
USA?
USA? I've had friends tell me that. Why I could never leave the USA. Why would you leave the USA? I said, brother, because the USA has left us a long time ago.
Right? We feel like visitors in our own home country. That's the truth. Really, it's the truth. And so in talking to the folks who are from either America, well, no, I didn't talk to many Canadians that had this truth, but I started to see a trend of families having some type of military background. And so we'll be interviewing AG3 family who lives in Sevilla. They moved to Sevilla 4 years ago with their young kids. One was just like a baby. So if you think you have to wait till the kids do this or do that,
you don't.
You do not. And they are former military. And so I'm thinking that maybe being in the military opens your mind to the possibilities.
You're traveling on different, to different borders, crossing different borders and spending time.
Yes.
And you can spend time and you're being paid by the United States military, and they're taking care of your housing too. So you really get to absorb the culture and the people.
Yeah, there definitely is an overrepresentation in the groups that we talk to of folks who are former military. Mm-hmm. Very, very interesting. You two got to hang out with Our Rich Journey, or I should say they got to hang out with you. You're so sweet. How lovely for them. Congratulations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we are already monetized, but I got to fill out the paperwork and do all this. Folks, it's pennies. It's pennies. This is not our plan for
No.
Maintaining our lifestyle. We are right. We are definitely living on a pension, but it's a little ego, a little this, a little that, and it's just like
it's fun. It's being able to spend time with you guys and
we feel
laugh
like we
and
know
joke
you.
And tease and laugh at ourselves and try to give you the best information that we can.
Yes.
And meeting other YouTubers and sharing their stories and stuff. That's what's fun about it. Like she said, it's pennies. It's pennies, the money that you make off YouTube. So
yeah, don't let this be your plan.
No.
Don't let YouTube itself be your plan.
No.
There's some folks who got caught out there in Mexico. Yeah. And then ended up being on a live begging for money and begging for jobs and stuff like that.
You don't want to do that.
You do not want to get caught out here in these international streets thinking. But yeah, I think the biggest thing, and Stephanie Perry is the one who said something that was that I needed to hear, especially as a hustle and grind American. Appreciate your audience at every stage. When we had 30 subscribers, when we had 100 subscribers, when we had 500 subscribers, we try to answer every single comment. I think you guys have noticed that, and respond to every single comment. There will come a time when that will probably be impossible, God willing, but we appreciate you guys.
Oh, we love you.
We're out there and it's like, didn't so-and-so ask about this? Just like Greta and her grape jelly. We're looking for the vegan stuff. We're looking for the black hair care products. We're looking for what we know you guys are asking for, because we know you guys would do the same for us. So we love it. I want to make sure that I don't.
People like Antonio, oh my goodness. I mean, the knowledge he shares with us about Portugal and the things that, they help us get along and understand better. You can't beat that. You cannot beat that.
No, you can't.
He's there. He's on the ground.
Yes.
He's boots on the ground. He
and
knows
he's
what's
native.
going on. And yes.
And he's a native. So, he knows. And I see there's other people who cannot catch us live who are in Portugal. Well, they were catching us live when we were in Portugal. Y'all know who you are, and they're in the comments helping us out and everything like that. And we just appreciate it. We really do. So Venus, we would love to meet up with you when you are in Portugal. If we're there by October, November, that's the plan.
Yeah, we got to.
Just DM us. All of our contact information is in the description. And we'll do a meetup. There are so many cool people. The Twana that I keep talking about, I met the first week we were there through a mutual friend. She's like, "Oh, Halisi, y'all in Portugal? I have a friend who just got residency. You guys should meet." Instant family. I'm telling you, it's the like-mindedness. It's just the joy. It's the seeking joy. Folks who are putting seeking joy first, as opposed to seeking power and prestige. Because power and prestige will take you out, right? Will take you out. Of course, fellas, what if you were thanking us, you're very welcome. We're so far behind. In my building, the normal monthly fee is €25, but was raised temporarily to €60. Yeah, €25. Well, I don't know how big your building is, but €25 just doesn't seem like enough. As long as they have IKEA, I'm good. They have IKEA. And most of the Airbnbs we stayed in, I think, were furnished with IKEA.
Yeah, I think they were too.
Yep. Have you spent much time in the Avenidas Novas area? When we were there, we liked that area most. Your impressions? I'm not sure, though that sounds familiar. So if you can let us know where it's near, then we can let you know.
Isn't that where we were looking at the apartments and stuff that time with the statue in the middle of the... It was when the lady the YouTuber that was talking about going...
That was Avalad. And
Okay.
and that's where I think I saw that street though. And so Avalad, we'll have a video coming out about that, is kind of near the zoo and all of that. And we checked it out because it's flat. It is directly in the flight path. So I'm not sure that's going to work for us long term, but the neighborhood is really, really cool. And it kind of pristine too. So let's see where we're at here. You can get snow in Portugal. I'm not trying to hear that, Antonio.
What do you say?
In the winter, but just in the east or northeast in the mountains. Okay, let it stay up there. Let it stay up there, right? Okay, let me go back to where I was. Plenty of room on the countryside. Housing is much cheaper than Lisbon. Yes. Or Porto, definitely. We were looking. And so I think the only thing is you have to have a car. So that's the only thing if you're going to live outside of the city. And I'm not sure I want to deal with some of those narrow streets. We got some video on that too. I mean, in old Coimbra.
Oh my God.
And
can I tell this one?
Yes.
So we go to Coimbra and we're in the Uber. He's taking us to the Airbnb we're staying in. And the first thing he did says, "Don't get scared because the streets are very, very small. They're very narrow." And he wasn't lying. I mean, these people maneuver these cars and there'd be a car parked on the side and they just barely miss them. But
it's inches.
My God,
inches. It is inches, literally.
I hadn't seen one accident. And it's like, okay, if we were... This is crazy, but they know how to drive them cars.
Yes. Portugal,
I mean, the cars aren't that. They don't have gas guzzlers like we do in the United States. Things are smaller and stuff like that. But it's like, oh my God, I'd be to hit like 10, 20 cars a day.
Yes.
Because those streets are just narrow.
They are. Um, how long have we been on? Oh my God, over an hour. Okay, I wanted to keep this short, so I'm going to go quickly through these comments and try to answer everybody's questions. Portugal has enough variety for everyone. Yes, yes, it really does. It really, really does. My plan is to live within an hour of Lisbon Airport within the first part of, right? And so that's another thing. I'm open to modifying that. The Porto airport does not have as much traffic, and I did not see inexpensive flights out of Porto. So if your dream is also to be bopping around to make Lisbon your home base and take weekend trips here and there, I think you want to be close to Lisbon, because that's where you're going to get the decent prices.
Airport,
and the right, that's Portugal. Once you leave, you feel, I know. I think saudade. I saw that painted on the side of the building in Almada. I've got to look it up. Does that mean sad or melancholy? Because yes.
yeah. And let me tell you something, folks. Portugal, those folks are festive. I mean, when the things go along that they're celebrating, it's on.
Yes.
It truly is on.
Yes.
And they will party through the night.
And June, so we've got a video coming out about that too. But June is definitely a month of festivals. 3 of the major saints, right, are celebrated during June. So definitely planning to do Naki's tour and reach out to some others while they're good. So Naki does his tour Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So just plan accordingly, because I did not know that. You can get snow, yeah. If I never see snow again, hey Tracy, hey Nika.
Hey Tracy and Nika.
Yeah, I'm telling you. If I never have to shovel snow, I don't mind snow as long as I've got 2 boards on the bottom of my feet and I'm going down a hill. When you go back to Portugal, are you planning on checking out other potential cities to put down roots, or plan to stay where you were before? So initially, we're going to be where we were before, or in that general area. But we're definitely looking probably as far north as the Silver Coast. And
yeah, I mean, we're going to be there. We're going to rent for probably the first year,
yeah,
at the most, and that's going to give us plenty of time in country to look and find where we want to be. And on the coast, further up in Porto, I don't know if I want to live in Porto because it gets a little cold, from my understanding. But
yeah, and it's far from the airport.
But that'll give us plenty of time. Like she said, a month just wasn't enough time.
It was not.
You couldn't scratch the surface.
It was not.
And it's true.
And had Exodus Summit not had their meetup in Mexico in July, we would still be there.
We'd still be there.
We would definitely still be there. So, for us, we do want to bop around. We want to take weekend trips to different parts of Europe. So we need to be close to the Lisbon airport, and at least a 30-minute, 40 minutes away, so that traveling doesn't become an all-day thing. If we're in Porto and we have to go from Porto to Lisbon, then change planes or whatever and go to Lisbon, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Have you guys ever thought of Africa? We're considering South Africa. Yes.
We consider South Africa.
We have family in South Africa. The continent is hard, because I'm just going to be honest. For me, the infrastructure is not where I need it to be for me to live my best life. And so it's going to be a place we visit. It's when we were in South Africa, which was quite a while ago, the internet wasn't there. I think it is there now.
Yeah.
But there is something that you have to watch out for that my stepmother experienced when she bought a home there. And so there was another lady who did an interview, I want to say on She Does on the Loose on her channel. And she did not have this experience. So I think the difference is whether it's a new build or if it is pre-owned. She had to pay 6 figures closing cost, and she had to come out of pocket. It will not be rolled into the loan. 6 figures. And it cost, like, her closing costs. She had to pay everybody's attorney's fees were like a third of the cost of the house or whatever, right? I mean, it was just crazy and unexpected, especially for American. So do your due diligence. Loved the people in South Africa.
Oh yeah, we made a lot of friends in South Africa.
Like the food in South Africa, like the
Yes.
weather and everything. It's still a little heartbreaking to see how some of our people are living there. And that's hard. That's really, really hard and reminds me too much of home, if you know what I mean. Thank you, Patty. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Julie, hi, y'all. Really enjoyed your video on Portugal, especially Naki. Right? He's so good. It really
Yes.
made me pause when we speak about the difference in perception between African American and Africans. I know nowhere is perfect. Nowhere is perfect.
No, it's not.
Nowhere is perfect, right? But here's the thing. And yes, he talked about the American privilege that we are probably experiencing when we're there. But the biggest thing is we blend. We blend. We do not stand out as foreigners, and so I love that. We know that there's racists everywhere, all over the planet. That's just how it is. But we felt welcomed and we felt safe. We felt welcome and we felt safe. And like Naki said, when the police pulled up, wasn't nobody tripping. Wasn't the hairs on the back of her neck didn't stand up, nothing, right? And we know what just happened in Ohio, over the weekend or whenever that happened.
Chicago.
No, Ohio.
Was it Ohio?
There was Ohio and Chicago.
Well, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So police shooting in Ohio.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So, yay, I'm so happy for you guys. Loved meeting you at the Lisbon meetup. Hey there. So Healthy Living 61. If you don't mind giving us your real name, then I can remember who you are because I don't know your handle. And do you have a YouTube channel? See, veterans, we still have teenagers. I was hoping that they want to be, I think you meant abroad. You're the mama.
Have they been abroad yet?
You're the mama. Angela, if you're watching, hey, her kids are here and they were on board, but she's like, this is what we're doing. And you may go, and they're teenagers as well. You may go to college back in the States if that's what you choose. But this is what we're doing. And sometimes kids do not know what's best for them. And they don't know how we stress when they leave the house.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking about my grandsons and stuff. And I don't want to have to worry, when I hear something in an area where our kids are, hopefully my grandson wasn't there.
And a lot of times, most of the people I've talked to that have kids, the kids actually got over abroad and didn't want to leave.
Exactly.
They were really surprised at how their children adapted, and it's like, I don't want to go back.
Yes.
I don't want to leave.
I have more
surprised.
freedom here. So, Move Abroad and Thrive, Cartez, his daughters, taking an Uber to the mall and having that independent life was cost prohibitive in the ATL. But now where they are in Mexico, taking that $3 or $4 Uber ride so that they can spend the day hanging out at the mall, because that's what teenagers do, right? They can do that, right? And so they were really talking about their independence. All of the kids that we have seen that are thriving. They just are thriving, and you don't know until you go, right? Do we need a visa to book our tickets just for vacation, just to go to Portugal? Not if you're American.
No.
Honey, that blue passport, if you are American right now and you are watching and you don't have a passport, get it now.
Get a passport.
Get it now. Get it now. Get it now. Because we don't know what the Supreme Court's doing, what they're doing. We don't know. We don't know. Get your passport now. And there is privilege in that passport. And I hate to say it. Because it's not fair and it's not necessarily deserving, but that's the world that we live in right now. And so, for instance, we landed in France, and the brother who was at customs, kind of looking at people's stuff before we got to the customs line, he looked us up and down and said, passport. Had a little bit of attitude, right? And then when Rick pulled out his blue passport, he's like, "Oh, American, go right through." So
For
yeah,
real.
most
For real.
countries we do not have to get a visa prior to visiting. We can just show up and get an automatic visa. And Portugal is one of those places.
To
So,
visit where
are you guys still there? Did we
did we
lose you?
lose you guys? We don't know what just happened.
We don't know what just happened. That was so weird. It looks like everybody's still there. Let's plug in before before it gets crazy. I'm
I
gonna
hope
let you do
I
that.
hope y'all didn't see me picking my nose or anything when we blacked out.
Oh my gosh,
I'm
that was
just joking.
so weird. Okay, let me see where we are. I'm so Cortez Ingles. Yes, you might be able to find grape jelly. I did not. We did not go into Cortez Ingles, Greta. If you're still there, they might have grape jelly. They definitely might have grape jelly. So Avenida Novus is very nice, expensive but nice. Cortez Ingles is there. Okay, I think I know the area. And no, I think we were adjacent to that area, but did not go in it, especially Saldana. Yes. So Saldana is on our list, but it would definitely have to be unfurnished. And we definitely have to do some negotiating because those prices, those people, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what. Okay, we lost you for a few seconds. Still here. Okay, great. I wasn't trying to pay those prices. So Samuel, saudade is a word for a sad state of intense longing for someone or something that is absent. Yes, that is definitely how we feel about not being in Portugal right now, and the festivities, the little villages. The other thing about Western Europe is the way it was built. It was built, the city planning, so to speak, especially in the older parts, was built to build community. So what I mean by that, like where we were, it's very obvious that the place was built around the church, right? And and then you see you'll exit one street of a neighborhood and you'll come upon a small park with benches and all of that, and maybe even a kiosk that will serve coffee, not free, paid coffee or something like that. And and it just seems like they have spaces, public spaces, where they expect for you to hang out and be in community, and no one's calling the police saying that you're loitering.
No, you can hang out in a coffee shop and don't get the police called on you for having coffee.
So all of
Or
right, go ahead.
you can hang out at a restaurant after you've eaten your meal and sit there for a couple hours and nobody calls the cops and says you're loitering.
Yes, you have to beg for your check. You have to beg for your check in
Yeah.
Mexico
They
too,
don't
though.
just hand you your check. You
Yeah.
you ask for it when you're ready.
So our rich journey was coming down to Lisbon from the Silver Coast in a car, and they said 20 minutes, 25 minutes, right? So not that far.
No.
Not that far. Greta King, at least we can consider dual residency. Yes, 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 yes. And one of the reasons why um, Antonia's talking in kilometers. So, Antonio, I am old enough when the United States thought that they were going to go to the metric system. And for one whole year, we learned the metric system. And then I guess they said, no,
We're gonna stick with inches and stuff.
you guys are too stupid to learn this. So forget it. I don't know what happened to that. Portugal is as close as you can get to Africa and Europe, right? And so both from the fact that um, folks of African descent have been in Lisbon for centuries. For centuries. I've done a lot of research now because Naki just blew us away. So now I got to read more and more and more. And so there's that. And then there's the physical location. And so for the, I think it was Phyllis who was asking about Africa. We cannot wait to be that close and to be able to fly without spending 24 hours in a plane and $1,500 per ticket on up. So, you know, and so I think you said, I know what I mean about the infrastructure. Yes, Johnny, they're key. They're key because if you don't have, it's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? If you don't have the basics, you cannot build a life. And safety, feeling welcome, feeling at home, feeling like you belong, that's the basics. And police don't bother us. So, oh, April. Yes, yes, yes. I remember. I remember. So can't wait to get back. And you guys are still there. I love it. All right. We're going to wrap this up. The 4th of July was so sad for me here in the States. Women's rights under attack, gun violence. It's a nightmare being in a crowd of people. In stores, I look for the exit as soon as I walk in.
That's just not right. That's not right, yeah.
Antonio and Rui, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Rui, does that sound crazy to you? What do you think about what you're hearing? Because to me, if I didn't grow up in the madness, it would just sound crazy. Just sound crazy.
Yeah.
So we are so happy that y'all joined us. We're gonna let you go. It's been an hour and a half, and we just meant to stay on for about an hour or so. But we love you guys. We are so thankful. So thankful. We're about to get our Mexican residency, and that will be next week. And so we'll let you guys know how that goes. Any process questions you guys have, let us know. Anyone who wants to know who we are using to help us with the process, we could DIY it, but y'all know I'm dealing with my dad and mom, my aging parents, and all of that stuff. We still have to clear out part of our house. And I'm trying to live a life of ease, y'all. So we found 2 good groups of women, interestingly enough, who are helping us both in Portugal and in Mexico. And both of them came to us through Exodus Summit. Stephanie Perry, Rashida Dow, love you all, would not be here without you. If you are doing YouTube and you want to know how we got to over 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers in about 3 months and 2 weeks, I have 2 words for you. Stephanie Perry. If you are a woman, take her course. I think it's a waiting list now. Take her course. Take her course. She's brilliant. She's brilliant. She's brilliant. And she knows how to build community. And to me, that's what was missing from television, is building community. And so we just want to bring you, some great information, entertain you a little bit along the way, share our life with you, and you're sharing your life with us. And I'm going to get teary. I said it right. Thank you. I'm going to get teary because I'm so grateful for you guys.
Thank you so much for getting us to where we need to be.
Yes. We love you guys. And we will see you next week. Thank you for your positivity. Hey, this is for y'all.
We'll see you Sunday, y'all.
Thank you, Rui. We will be back. We love Portugal. Oh my God, we love Portugal.
Yes.
We love Mexico, but we love Portugal. So we will see you guys later. We'll see you on Sunday, 1:30 Mountain Time, 3:30 Eastern Time, 8:30 Portugal time, Sunday.
We still got a lot to talk about, y'all.
Yes, we do. Love y'all. See you later.